Good evening and welcome to another vlog with me, George Wayham. I'm going to be giving you two tips in a minute for tomorrow's games at the World Championship qualifying. A recap from today's games, from my sort of tips from my written preview. James Cahill I tipped at 30 to 1 to qualify. He's 7 to up on Andrew Higginson. So he's in a really good position. I think he concludes tomorrow at 2:30. Peter Ebdon, who's my strongest fancy of the week, won this evening comfortably enough against Harvey Chandler. And the Phi, he's 5-4 up on Zhang. I think he concludes tomorrow at 2:30 as well. So not too bad a day on that front. I was disappointed to see Lucas Kleckers lose the first 4 frames this evening. All he needed to do was win one, and I've got a 12 to 5 tip up from yesterday. The two handicap ones, Unnu and Gould, have absolutely sailed in. So that was a bit frustrating. But we move on to tomorrow, and I've got a couple of fancies, and they're at very, very big prices. In fact, the first one comes from the game between Anthony McGill and Ashley Hugel, and I'm going to be tipping up Ashley Hugel here, who's a 13 to 2 shot with 888 Sport, Unibet, Leo Vegas. They're all the same company. I think he's worth a little dabble at 13 to 2. And he's not had a very good season as Ashley. He's likely to be coming off the tour. And he's only won twice. He won once at the Gibraltar Open. That was against an amateur. And early in the season he beat Kishan Arani. But last season he did win 9 times. And this season he's even though he's lost nearly all of his matches this season, he has actually lost in quite a few tight matches. He's lost twice narrowly to Hossein Vafai, and he's lost a couple of other quite tight games. I think Mafflin beat him about 6-4, and he's took frames off a lot of other quality top players this season. So he's he's a fair player, and he's facing Anthony McGill, who's had a really wretched season, considering he was at the Crucible last year as a seed in the top 16. He's dropped quite a bit in the rankings. He's only made 2 last 16s. He made the European Masters around October time. He lost really narrowly to Jimmy Robertson, I think 4-3 on the black. He did have a good performance at the China Open last week. He lost in the last 16 to Alan McManus after beating my outright Stephen Maguire. My quarter fancy Stephen Maguire. But he's such a funny player. He's either absolutely on it and looks the real deal, or he's completely the opposite and looks like a local club player. And hopefully it's the latter tomorrow against Hugel, because I think say 13 to 2 on Hugel looks a price, a really decent price on a player that can mix it. And if McGill's off it at all tomorrow, and there's a good chance he could be, because as I say, he's having a really poor season and the pressure's on him big time tomorrow. And I think 13 to 2 is a fair price on Hugel to hopefully get an upset there, because he is a decent player, and it could likely be a game that goes quite far in the match. And I think he is about sort of well over even money, just with a 4.5 head start as well. So if you didn't fancy the 13 to 2, that's probably the other way to go it. But Hugel to win 13 to 2, 888 Sport, Unibet. That's my first fancy tomorrow. And the other game I like the look of is Hamad Maya. He's a 9 to 2 shot with, I think, Betfred, Paddy Power, and Betfair. He's yeah, 9-2 against Liam Highfield, who's having a bit sort of like after the Lord Mayor's show, because he was brilliant last season. He won over well over 50% of his matches. I think it was like 56%. This season he's down at about 42% win rate. And after the World Championship, which he qualified for last year, I thought he'd really kick on this season, and it hasn't been the case. And he's having a poor season. He's playing Hamid Maya, who's actually got quite a good record in the World Championship. He won his first match last year, and then he got beaten, I think, 10-4 by Stephen Maguire. The previous season, he beat Ricky Walden first up, and then he lost in the final round to Rory McLeod. And I think the year before that, he actually lost in the first round, but it was 10-9 to Stuart Carrington, so another good player. So he has got decent pedigree in these longer distance matches, and he's actually won 6 times this season after qualifying via Q School. And again, he has mixed it well this season on the tour. He's had a lot of obviously defeats, but he hasn't been slaughtered many times. I think he's only had 2 whitewashes against his name. So yeah, all in all, it's he looks at a good price at 9-2. I wouldn't put it past him at all here, and he's a very steady player. He's got a cracking Q action, and as I say, a bit like Andy McGill, Liam Highfield's got a lot of pressure on him. I'm not 100% sure, but I think if he doesn't win, there's a small chance that he might come off the tour. So yeah, big pressure on Highfield. So I think Maya, who's guaranteed to be playing on the tour next season, looks a good looks a small bet for 9-2. And for both the two selections, Hugel and on Maya, going to be both 0.5 point wins. So they're the plays tomorrow, and hopefully at least one of them could at least give a good run for money, and obviously great if one of them did win. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back same time tomorrow. Thanks, all the best. Cheers. Thanks for watching.